Okay, so I will share my screen. Good afternoon, everyone. So today, during this Coaching to Confidence, I will be reviewing Coldwell Banker's lead generation tools, tips and tricks and strategies utilizing the tools you already have on hand. So things that will be discussed in regards to available tools is the InTouch website, web and social media ads, and big data tools. So InTouch, your InTouch website, your sales page is the one and only or one of the most effective landing page on your website. And that is what is my home worth, a CMA request. And for those who are not familiar, by definition, a landing page is a standalone web page created specifically for a marketing or advertising campaign. It's where a visitor lands after they click on a link in an email or an ad from Google, Bing, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So when you share this landing page either on Facebook or you add it as a link within a comprehensive InTouch marketing campaign targeted to sellers, or your Express Docs postcard, you can add that web link there so people can visit your website. Okay, and just those examples, a Facebook post here. You can either boost this as well to a targeted audience. An InTouch eBlast, as I mentioned, you can add that to a custom campaign, or you can add it to an existing campaign. And the Express Docs postcards. So if you farm an area, you can send out market information and add your sale page website there. And you have 4 opportunities on the postcard to add that URL. Next, you have the InTouch search page. So just like Zillow or Redfin or ColdwellBankerHomes.com, buyers can go there and search active listings, sold listings, etc. So one tip is to share that InTouch search page with your active buyers. So it is a direct IDX feed that you are paying for, and listing market updates and accuracy occur in real time compared to Zillow. So if there's any listing update, your InTouch website will provide that most accurate information. Next, you have the lead generation and activity tracking. So this is a default setting on your InTouch website on the back end. I'm happy to show you where that is. But it's set there because it optimizes your website for lead generation and behavior tracking insights. Visitors are asked to sign in before they view a second property. And you can adjust those settings. It can be the 3rd property or the 5th property, or you can leave it open and they do not have to sign in, but you want to encourage them to sign into your website so they can continue searching those properties. Next, you can sign that buyer up for InTouch listing alerts. I know a lot of agents by default add their clients to MLS for those listing alerts. But the InTouch listing alerts is an automatic email notifying of new listings or price changes for properties that match their search criteria. And this keeps your contacts coming back to your website. So you may receive alerts from Market Leader that someone or contact is searching your website. Web and social media ads. So in-house, we have HomeSpotter Boost, which is a third party that Coldwell Banker works with, and Coldwell Banker agents receive discounted ad rates. And then you have Social Ad Engine that was created by our product team exclusively for Coldwell Banker agents. So just the difference between the two. HomeSpotter Boost ads are published to web, Facebook, and Instagram. So great for agents that do not have an active social media presence, but still trying to get that exposure and gain leads. Unlike Facebook, you can target one zip code. So if you use CBX Buyer Locator, or if you farm an area, you can enter that zip code in your ad. page that you create on your website or another website. Social ad engine. Ads are published to Facebook and Instagram only, and you do need a Facebook business page to create an ad on social ad engine. Lead generation ads are available, no zip code targeting, and again, you have the ability to add your own landing page. So I will show you an example of each. This is a completed HomeSpotter Boost agent promo ad. At the top here, you can see some very brief analytics in terms of ad views, link clicks, and the amount of time the ad ran and the recently seen pages or websites that the ad was seen on. The ads are $99 for a 30-day ad. And what I like about the HomeSpotter Boost ad is that you can adjust the ad copy at any time. So if you target one ad for 1 week with one message and you're not liking the results there, you can switch that message and add another landing page. And you can also upload your own email contact list. So if you have some contacts on an InTouch marketing drip campaign, you can retarget and add those same contacts to HomeSpotter Boost as well. And I see a lot of agent HomeSpotter Boost ads when I'm surfing the web. The social ad engine lead generation ad. So this is an example here. You already identify your goal as you want to drive leads from Facebook and Instagram. And then you have these lead qualifying questions. So at the bottom here, you'll see what is required. And then you have the option to include these questions or not include them. So social ad engine is $129 for a 1-week ad, and you do get the option to add 3 media ad variations. So if you want to add a video, do a carousel post, or add one photo, your ad will run, and the ad that's getting the most traffic or engagement will continue to run out of those 3 media ad variations. Okay, now we get to the big data. And big data by definition, or is a term that describes the large volume of data, both structured and unstructured, but it's not the amount of data that's important, it's what you do with the data that matters. So we will review CBX Buyer Locator, which is a tool that I like. You can plug in a zip code or a potential listing address and find out where the buyers are coming from for your area or your client's area. So that's a good message to lead with and a good campaign. So 3 options or strategies or tips that you can utilize with that CBX Buyer Locator are targeted postcards to sellers. So you can include this message or look for some similar copy on an InTouch eBlast or a Moxie, but I pulled this right from Moxie. It's in a listing presentation. So for your home's marketing to be effective, it needs to reach the right audience. CBX uses big data to analyze your market, your neighborhood, and more, then presents a profile of the most likely buyer for your home. And that's a powerful statement to tell a seller that once you list your home with me, I work with a company that pays for this big data, and they can spit out a buyer profile match, and in turn I can target that area or that buyer specifically. Next, you can add, again, a comprehensive InTouch marketing drip campaign. So in addition to a CMA request, you can include additional Coldwell Banker offers to your campaign, such as the CBX buyer profile, Revitalize if you have the audience for it, Listing Concierge, and Prospect Square reports. And as of recently, the CBX and Moxie present integration. So such an awesome integration that you do not have to create a CBX buyer profile separately for your CMA or listing presentation. Once you complete that CMA, the buyer profile is created and you can include that in your presentation to your seller. Next, we have the automated Prospect Square market reports. And I stress automated because you can add your contacts or clients to a report to go out every day, every 7 days, every 2 weeks, every month, etc. A great set it and forget it program. And the target audience for Prospect Square market reports specifically, because you also have area reports and quarterly reports as well, is that they target, or they're great for active buyers, active sellers, active prospects, and active investors. And you can create a report for each and an introductory message for each as well. So
yeah, real quick to interject, because I think these are awesome, these market reports, you guys, especially because you can, to Leah's point, really customize them based on like what someone's particularly looking at. So for those of you hosting open houses, whether it's in person or virtually, this is a great thing. If you had a rapport with an open house lead and you're really trying to work them, this is a really great thing to set them up for, because if they let you know maybe the place they walked through isn't what's going to work for them, but they tell you they're really wanting Lincoln Square or Ravenswood or maybe that area, you can set them up to get these market reports. They're branded to you. You're going to see the same things they are, and it gives you a reason to kind of reach out and talk to them like, hey, market time is going down in these areas, which means more buyers are looking in there, and I know you guys are really invested in place. Now is the time to make a move. You know, it's really going to be helpful and something very specific to what they're looking at, rather than just an overall, here's what's happening in Chicago. You can talk to them about what's happening in the areas they want to specifically look at. Sorry for interrupting.
No, absolutely. That's a great idea. Thank you. So in addition to that, you can share, schedule, and boost on Facebook. So they are more specific than area and quarterly reports. You can narrow it down by size and price. And so you can really get that information for your ideal client. You can add as a landing page for HomeSpotter Boost or social ad engine. And if you're not familiar with Prospect Square market reports, I don't have one up. They're engaging. So you can click on the listing ID or the local inventory photo and look through each of the listings, and you can print off the PDF. You can share to Facebook. You can share the link. You can do so and contact you directly. So I like it because it is engaging. And you can include the report URL to your Instagram bio if you choose. So Instagram does allow for only one link, and that does live in your bio section. So if you do IGTV videos or live videos and you're talking about the market, you can easily tell people to access an updated report in the link in your bio. And key takeaways. So that was pretty quick. How success happens. So all of these lead generation tools, strategies, and activities, or tips and tricks won't work unless you are consistent. So schedule some time for lead generation activities. Automation, set it and forget it. You have InTouch marketing drip campaigns that are already available, or you can create your own. You have Prospect Square market reports that you can set up and automatically go to your clients, in addition to listing alerts as well. And manage your expectations. So results don't happen overnight. So if you choose to do a HomeSpotter Boost ad or a social ad engine, give it time. 30 days is definitely not enough to generate leads. I was working with one agent. She wanted to do one ad and wanted to obtain 9 qualified leads. That's great and ambitious, but at least give yourself a full 3 months to build that time and nurture some leads. And that concludes the lead generation tools, strategies, tips, and tricks. So any questions here? I'll unshare my screen.
Hey, Leah, just a quick question. Does Prospect Square and Boost talk to each other?
No, they do not.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Leah. This was awesome. I know it was a lot of content, so I really hope that some of you guys have questions out there because I see some newer agents, I see some experienced agents, and I know many of you are not using these tools yet. And so I'd love to, this is your opportunity to kind of ask Leah those questions. But, when we talk about prospecting really and growing that sphere, a good way to grow that sphere is to get these cold leads, right? Or just even warm up ones that are a little bit colder, or people that are more of like the 7 degrees of Rachel, right? The people that aren't my best friends are kind of auxiliary. I'm trying to warm them up. Maybe I hosted an open house 6 months ago and I just want to see if I can get those people like back in it. These are some really good ways to kind of get into it. So does anybody have any thoughts, or you've been using some things and that they don't work, or any questions?
And I can share this link because it is a Moxie presentation, so I can add it to the chat, or Rachel, you can share it in your notes for Friday.
Great. I've got a quick question.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I've been using InTouch and getting a couple of leads a week via my website, which has been great. And so, of course, within reason, like as soon as I can, or immediately in some cases, I'll send a personal email and reach out and kind of let them know the services that I can provide, and just let them know I'm here for them if should they need anything. And I'm just not getting a lot of luck in getting any responses from these leads. And so I don't know, if we can discuss strategies for that you get the initial lead notification and you reach out, some strategies for improving response rate from leads.
Yeah, sure. When I work with most agents, I like to review their audience base and tell them to review the timeline activity for that particular contact, because I find that agents blindly send out emails without looking into what the contact actually needs. But there are some script options available in Market Leader for you to compose some email quick text. So if you see that this buyer is looking in this area within this price point, you already have a converting type message to add to that follow-up. And so if you want to go into Market Leader, and just search email quick text, and I'm happy to meet with you one-on-one. There are a lot of different script options for buyers at each stage that you can send and tweak to make it sound like yourself. And let me know if that helped.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at that. I've just been relying on my own personal, I'm just personally typing the email out and thinking, hey, that'll look good. And it's like a personal email and not like an automated message or something. And I'm just not getting out.
That email quick text and the script options that they have available for new buyer leads and new seller leads, I tell agents to take a look at that, so you at least can get some ideas of what type of call to action to include. You can include links in that email, continue to search for properties here, or let me sign up let me sign you up for listing alerts. And then also the question is, if you don't hear anything back after that first time, do you follow up again, or do you just move on to the next contact?
Yes, I need to get better at following up and not assuming oh, they didn't respond, they don't want to hear from me, so I do fall into that trap often. And so I've got them in my CRM, and I'm going to be sure to follow up and send out some more emails to them. But I get a little discouraged. I'm because it's, for me, if I get an email and I want to respond to it, I'll just go ahead and respond to it. So I assume other people, I didn't hear back, they must not want to talk to me.
No, I'm guilty of that. I see an email and mentally I might respond or try to get back to it later. So I know at the last education event with Tom Ferry, he mentioned if you don't follow contact minimum 10 times, then you shouldn't be walking away from that contact. So I like to encourage agents to set up some type of funnel or drip campaign. Once you have that buyer lead and you send that first contact, you can set up a custom marketing campaign 3 days later after that email for another email to go out. And then you can set it up for an activity, which may be a phone call if you have their number. So On your end, you have to set up these systems for your buyer leads, your seller leads, your sphere of influence. And in Touch and Prospect Square, we definitely have the tools to do that. I'm happy to meet with you one-on-one to take an audit at your database to see how I can help you set up some effective campaigns.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm going to send you an email to set up a time with you.
Perfect.
Rachel, I have a question, but not about that. It's about something totally different. Is that okay?
Sure, Maha. Shoot.
Okay. Today I got an email. It's talking about like Zillow and rentals property, and that in order to have your rental property on Zillow, you have to pay a weekly amount of almost $10. So, and it's going to start the beginning of next year. So my question is, as a real estate agent, are you supposed to pay this out of pocket, or you should have your client pay it? Because I mean, when you do rental, really the return is not much.
Yeah, that's a good question. So Michael Cairo, are you still on the call?
I am, Rachel. I am. How's everybody doing?
Good. So Michael, as the resident rental expert, Maha, do you want to first talk about what Maha's saying? So a lot of you probably got the news, and that's kind of a good question. And it kind of is lead gen, so it still kind of fits in this. But Michael, if you want to touch on that news that came out of Zillow, and then kind of chat about Maha's question as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Maha, the news, of course, so that is accurate. I've gotten that from a couple of our agents that have gotten the notification. It's $10 a week per post on Zillow, which is similar to what agents have already been paying for their non-exclusive listings and for random rentals that they wanted to post. Now it's affecting, unfortunately, your MLS. My thoughts on it are, a couple different things. From the rental division, we've actually been getting the majority of our rental leads from apartments.com and Zumper, Facebook Marketplace. In fact, anybody who's on the call who's in the rental division will probably, back me up on that. We actually had a roundtable for the rental division last week where we spoke on it, and that was the case where everybody was like, Zillow is not really the number one lead generator as of late. So it's a personal decision if you think that you want to pay for it, as far as, including it, from your client. If they feel very strongly about presence on the Zillow network, I think that it's a conversation that you can have with them. But I would really advise to them first of, Zillow is not the end all be all. And I think that some of our other options are more than sufficient, for advertising your rental listings. Yeah.
And to kind of piggyback off of Michael, so for those of you guys who maybe didn't see the announcement, but Zillow has announced that they will no longer syndicate rental listings from the MLS. Sale listings will still syndicate to Zillow, but not MLS. That is not a Coldwell Banker company decision. That's not a company, local company, whatever. That's a Zillow decision, meaning that then they're asking agents, not asking agents, they're telling agents, if you want your rental listings on Zillow, you have to pay to have them placed on Zillow. $10, $9.99 per listing per week to have it advertised on Zillow. So I kind of agree with Michael. I think, through the MLS and through Coldwell Banker, you're still syndicating to a lot of sites. You're syndicating to HomeSnap, you're syndicating to CB Homes, you're syndicating to Realtor.com. You're still syndicating to a lot of places. But again, if your client feels so strongly about being on Zillow, then that is something you could work into your commission. You can say 1 month's rent plus marketing fees for Zillow, and you could maybe put a cap on it. I'd recommend, telling them, let's do it for 3 weeks. So that'll be additional $30 for me for doing that for you, payable when it gets rented or whatever. But I agree with Michael. I think kind of when we talk about lead generation tips and tricks, the reason why I really wanted to focus on the stuff we already have here at Coldwell Banker is we get asked, and I'm sure Michael gets asked, I'm sure Leah gets asked this a lot, is, well, what about if I paid for leads like on Zillow or on Trulia or on Realtor.com? And you pay a lot of money for those leads. I personally, when I was selling, I was on a team for 3 years, and we did pay for Zillow leads for those 3 years. It's a lot of money. And you feel very tethered to those leads to convert them. And so for the 3 years I was on that team, I spent 90% of my time trying to convert leads and 10% of my time talking to my sphere. That's ludicrous. It should be 80% of your time or more talking to your sphere, right? Because cold leads are not guaranteed, but because you're paying so much for them, you feel this like, oh my God, I got to convert it because I'm paying so much for them. And realistically, you might not net that much at the end of the day once that check comes in, because you obviously are allocating some to your marketing budget, you're allocating taxes, and then I'm allocating what I paid for this lead to begin with from Zillow or wherever it was sourced. We have a lot of things that Leah just went through. Yes, you can pay for HomeSpot or Boost, but a lot of stuff she talked about, that's just there. You can use InTouch to be lead generative. Those landing pages, free to create. Put $5 into Facebook for a week, put a little bit more into it, but those Facebook and Instagram ads really aren't that expensive. The market trend reports and things, that's a free email that you can set somebody up. The drip campaigns, that's working for you when you're sleeping or not paying attention, right? So that's why I really wanted to focus on this, because I think agents get really caught up in sourcing where those come from. The other thing is, when you as an agent become dependent on an outside source, outside meaning not yourself, generating leads, then you all of a sudden, that's where your business is dependent on, no longer yourself, right? So now I'm dependent on Zillow to feed me, or Realtor.com to feed me, or a company who's feeding me leads, instead of me running my business the way I want to run it. So all of these tools are allowing you to run the business the way you want to run it. If you're an agent that wants to focus on for sale by owners and expireds, Leah went through tools in this that will work exactly that way. If you're an agent that's like, I don't want to touch for sale by owners and expireds, I don't want to deal with that follow-up, I'm just going to be the queen or king of open houses. My goal is going to be to do 3 open houses every weekend, 2 on Saturdays, 1 on Sunday, and I'm going to push myself to pick up 3 buyers from every month from doing that. And I'm going to utilize the market trend reports and the insight reports and the drip campaigns to make that happen for me, right? Or maybe my goal is I want to be a farming agent. My goal is to have a consistent farm in 2 locations, and I'm going to utilize Express Docs with that. I'm going to utilize a landing page that I'm going to do Facebook and Instagram ads to them as well. And that's how I'm going to do it, right? But that's all you controlling how you are getting those leads and how you're structuring it, rather than waiting for an outside entity to feed them to you, if that makes sense. I see another hand up. Jane. Jane, do you have your hand up? Jane, can you hear me? No? Okay, Fayez, I saw you unmute. Do you have a question first while Jane figures out how to unmute?
Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of off topic, and because we were talking about rentals, I had a question.
That's okay. Go ahead. That's all right. We got time.
Okay. Since I see that Michael is the expert, I was gonna send him an email, but I can just ask it here. If we're listing with Coldwell Banker, does the MLS shoot it out to apartments.com? And if not, like, how does it get on apartments.com?
Yeah, so the MLS does syndicate to apartments.com. The websites that we recommend that you would have to manually post to, the top 2 are Facebook Marketplace. And correct me if I'm wrong, I do not think the MLS syndicates to Zumper, but that is our like kind of set. I mean, Zumper has been really big for us lately for whatever reason for new leads. And you can make an account for free and you can post for free, just like Facebook Marketplace. But apartments.com is an automatic syndication from the MLS.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And all the sources, which would you personally say gets the most views for rental listings?
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
out of all the different sources for rental, which would you personally think gets the most views for rental?
Oh, yeah, good question. I honestly, I think right now it's between apartments.com and, believe it or not, Facebook Marketplace. Really good response lately from Facebook.
That was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Great, of course.
Dave, you have your hand up. Do you have a question? Sure.
According to Ryan Gorman's email, Zumper is syndicated automatically.
Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you for that correction. We have a live fact checker with us. I love that. Let's see. Does anybody else? Jane, did you still have a question or figure out how to unmute? No. Okay, so I am going to give a little bit of a spoiler alert, but you guys get to hear it first. Michael has heard about this and Leah's gonna hear, I don't know if you've heard a little bit about it, but next week we have a very exciting 4-week challenge that's going to be starting in all 3 offices. It's exclusive to the City Central region, so try not to rub it in your colleagues outside of the 3 offices face. But it's designed specifically around helping you guys with your businesses, getting up and running, and honestly getting geared up for your 2021 business. So it's going to incorporate a lot of stuff with our marketing department, with Leah, with the field marketing specialists, using tools like InTouch, like Clients for Life, which is why going to things like this, Coaching to Confidence, is so important, because you guys kind of get front seat leverage coaching on how to utilize those. It's going to be working extremely closely with our education department. So with David Hacker and Joy Worthy Johnson, who's on this, really encouraging you guys to attend their business planning if you haven't yet, and then getting you guys in to meet with Curtis and myself for business planning one-on-one sessions. What's so exciting about this is we've really utilized this concept of gamification, right? The idea that all of these different tasks have point values. So kind of connect the dots, guys. When things have points equal prizes. So it's going to be really fun and really interactive. It's going to be a good way for you guys to win prizes, kind of friendly competition with each other, but all designed around making sure that your bios are updated, your headshots are correct, your websites are correct. Do you have drip campaigns set up? Do you have Clients for Life set up? And are people getting that? I just got the email today saying Clients for Life is geared and ready to go out. Do you guys have people getting that this month? Yes or no? That's a perfect lead generation tool that's set it and forget it, and a great way to connect with your sphere. And then week 3 is actually focused all around holiday cards, because it's that season, right? So we really want to encourage you guys to talk with your sphere, and it's a good way to get front and facing with them. So we're hopefully going to be announcing this tomorrow, but I wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek, because I really want to encourage you to check your emails from us, especially the Friday roundup email, because that's going to be kind of key where a lot of the information is going to be. The West Loop rental division is included in this. So you guys in the sales department have a lot of competition out there, but we've got some really fun, exciting prizes, and it's all geared towards just getting you guys to that level in your businesses that we know you all want to be. And everybody has different goals. So we want you guys to feel like we're really hyper focused on helping you achieve those for 2021. So does anybody have any last questions for Leah? I also see Joy on this call. So if anybody has any questions for Joy Worthy Johnson out of the education department, or questions for Michael Cairo, if so, now is your chance to ask.
Rachel, I just wanted to tell everybody really quick, you mentioned the business planning. We do have a business planning course scheduled for tomorrow morning at 10:30 to 12:30. So you talked about business planning. We want you to take business planning. And if you haven't taken it already, make sure you register for tomorrow at 10:30.
And it will count towards your points for this mysterious thing that you guys don't yet know all the things about, but I'm trying to give you an in, you guys. So, you know, this business planning class with Joy and David is seriously, everyone that comes out of this class just talks about it nonstop. It is the #1 attended class. And if Curtis and I want you guys to have one-on-one business planning with ourselves. I'm sure Michael is doing that with the leasing division agents as well. attending this business planning class with Joy and David is a prerequisite. It's an asterisk. I'm not going to turn down a meeting with you guys, but really, truly, by the time you sit down face to face, mask to mask with Curtis and I, it should be a conversation that's about coaching. I don't want to sit down and work out with you guys what you want to make for the year and what that aggregates out to, because that's what this business planning class is so good at helping you work out. So by the time you get to sit with Curtis and I, it's going to be a very high level. Oh, I see my internet going slow, but it's going to be a very high level coaching session about how to make those goals achievable, how to get what you need to do daily, weekly, monthly to get to that big pie in the sky 2021 goal. So that's why we're really encouraging you to do that first, because we want to make the most out of our time together with you guys. In order to do that, attending that class is going to be so, so key. All right. Well, if nobody has any other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace until next week, I guess. But or unless you want to email or call me. But
hi everyone. This is Miriam. I am a brand new agent to the Coldwell Banker West Loop office. Hello. I would love to be part of that training session. So Rachel or Joy, if you can send me the info for how to register, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Miriam, I will send it to you right now since you and I already
Perfect.
emailed earlier. I'll send it to you right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And welcome, Miriam. That's right. I just
Thank
sent you this
you.
calendar invite today. I said, poor Miriam, you guys just onboarded this morning officially and got like 17 calendar invites from me within the hour to everything.
It's good. I love it. I'm just going to start joining these meetings and absorbing everything. So I'm excited to be part of the team.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you here. So everybody, you get 15 minutes back of your Tuesday. This was awesome. Thank you so much, Leah. This will obviously be sent back out in the Friday roundup. I'll send Leah slides as well. But as always, you guys, Michael, Leah, Curtis, Joy, and myself are here. Guys, no matter what questions you have, we really want to make sure that you guys know how to fish. That's so important. We want you to feel empowered to run this business the way you want to run it. That's so important for us as leaders and at Coldwell Banker. So have a wonderful rest of your day. This is my friendly reminder to also please always wear your masks in the office. We have had a lot of cases, not in these 3 offices, but we have had office closures across our LOC. So when you are in the offices, even if you're at your desk, the mask needs to be on. Unless you're by yourself in a closed door office, you need to have your mask on at all time. This is for your safety, for the staff safety, for my safety, Michael's safety, Nakia's safety. So please, please, please be mindful of that. It is no fun for us to remind you guys. I can tell you that much. So be safe. We will see you guys soon. Bye.